Hello, everybody. This is Anthony Bionis from Mission Start Podcast, and if you enjoy listening to us not only on the website but also on iTunes, be sure to check us out on Stitcher as well. Stitcher is an iPhone, Android app, also on other smartphones. You can download for free, and also registration is for free too. It's an app that you can listen to any podcast that is on there without ever downloading a file. When you register with Stitcher, be sure to put in promo code Mission Start or Conover or both, and you get to automatically be entered into a $100 prize every month from Stitcher. So be sure to check us out, support us, and we'll support you guys. Hey everybody, this is Anthony Bionis from Mission Start Podcast, and yes, it's another episode of the Conover. Funny enough, this entire month has been back-to-back episodes, but hey, that's actually a good thing. But out of the conventions we've been to, we're gonna go into the past a little bit, and talk about a convention that was covered about, I want to say, it was last year. But like I want to say near November, maybe October. Um,
Um, November and December.
okay. So it wasn't too far off, but you I kind of talk today. You guys heard that voice. Joining me tonight for this Conroe podcast is Chris.
Hello, everyone.
And Chris, you went to two conventions. It was
hmm
MonitaCon and it was Anywave. Was uh, was those conventions back to back weekends, or were they kind of separate as far as like a good amount of time for you to prepare for the next one?
yeah. MonitaCon happened in, I wanted to say the first or second weekend of November.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the 9th. Well, I believe, yeah, it was on a Saturday. Anawave happened on the 8th of December on a Sunday, and the reason why I'm clear about that date is because the Saturday before that, before the convention, there was a karate tournament that me and my nephew participated in.
Ah, I see. Gotcha.
That one I'm clear about.
Awesome. Okay. I think we started with the first one you went to, which was MonitoCon. Where was it being held at?
It was being held in Jacksonville, North Carolina. It's on the coast. It's known as a marine base area.
Mm-hmm.
So it was being held at the local recreation center in within the city.
Mm-hmm.
MapQuest directions was not helpful in getting there, but
Right, right.
me and my friend Lee managed
Mm,
to get there on time. So
okay. When upon arriving to the convention, what were some of the things that stood out to you when you first arrived?
let's see. We got there. Um, there were people there lining up. I could see the cosplayers. Um, certain events, being that where the venue was taking place for the convention, were able to have their own. Was able to have a building or a room to themselves,
Mm-hmm.
while like the main area where you can see the vendors and the video game tournament going on and the stage for entertainment or for stand up,
Hmm.
they were in the gym.
I see. I see. Hmm. And they were pretty near each other as far as like not having to walk from one end of the place to the other.
Yeah, like you can walk out of the gym and the first set of panels you can go to is to your left, basically.
Mm-hmm.
While the magic I want to say Magic the Gathering or Dungeon. Yeah, it was Magic the Gathering that had a tournament uh, going on,
Mhm.
and Cards Against Humanity. There, we're in the next building over, and you can just take a walk and go around the corner of the next building, and it's right there.
Mm. It's always fun to play Cards Against Humanity.
I've
uh,
seen people play it. It's
oh
hilarious.
yes, it's awesome. But okay. Now this was during you said like November, December time. What? How was the weather at the time? Was it pretty cold at the time? Was there snow on the way there, or anything to that nature?
At MonitaCon, it was it was chill. It was chilly at first, but then it got warm
Mm-hmm.
because in my state, the weather the weather is fickle. It's very it can be the temperature goes up and down
Mm-hmm.
because we're right here and we're on the coast, and the closer you get, if there's warm air coming off from the beaches or whatever, it's gonna heat up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So if it might start off cool in the morning, and then in the afternoon or around noon to the going into the afternoon, it's warmer. Because at that point, I realized that okay, I might have to take my jacket off.
Hmm.
But it was sunny and it was nice.
Hmm. Okay. Um, were many cosplayers were they hanging out in front of the convention area, or were they inside the convention center the most of the time?
Both. They were doing both. Um, well, the fact that we realized the fact that we knew where we had arrived
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that I saw cosplayers. So that was reassuring that okay, the directions didn't didn't do its job from most of the time, but you know what? We managed.
Mm-hmm.
Cosplayers saved us.
I definitely agree. There's been many times where I'm walking around looking for the convention center, and whenever you see a cosplayer, it's like, okay, you're going in the right direction. um, but yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. Um, when you entered into the convention center, as far as you could tell, like what exactly kind of like what first struck you, or like what exactly did you see this like that came to mind?
Let's see. Um, so the first area I got to check out before, because this was at the beginning and people wasn't actually showing up just yet for the panels and whatnot.
Mm,
I'll say the vendors,
hmm,
and the reason why is because they were already they had all what they needed together.
hmm,
They were pretty much you can say were on their A game, their P's and Q's. They had everything neat for the whole section of the gym area that they had.
hmm.
And then like and being able to walk around and see everything that you would like to see,
Right.
or being able to like, oh, I like that over there. Let me go over here and check it. And it wasn't, oh, you have to go around this or do a hurdle to get over something else to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
It was the traffic wasn't it wasn't crowded or it backed up to where you couldn't really move around.
Right, right. Okay, so there wasn't much of an issue walking around the convention. It sounds like there's a lot of space to kind of walk around and not really have that issue that most other cons will have. Hmm. Okay. Um, it was interesting you brought the Avengers as the first thing that popped into mind. So I'm assuming that majority of the convention is in one big room, as it were.
Um, I would say a good third to half was in one area
Mm-hmm.
because of the space,
Mm-hmm.
and then the panels and like I mentioned earlier, Cards Against Humanity and etc.
Mm-hmm.
they had other areas to where they were separate from the main area, so you can, as the person or the panelist was talking, you can easily close the door
Hmm.
if it was too loud outside.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Huh. Okay. Um, that's good to hear. I mean, like I think it was at AOD when I went. There were a few times where like I kind of wish somebody would close the door, and they did eventually. But like some people are outside making too much noise, and you're trying to listen to what the person is saying up in the front. Uh, especially if you're filming. Yeah, that makes it harder for me. But that's cool. Well, was there what else was in the room besides the vendors?
Let's see. They haven't well at first they haven't quite gotten the setup for the video games yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because my friend Lee, he went and while I was taking pictures and stuff, he went ahead and signed up for the tournament for Smash Brothers.
Mm. Wow. How did he do?
Well, he met well basically in his own words, he met basically the one guy that could challenge him in the first round. So basically, well, dang, he didn't expect he probably should have went ahead and brought his A game from the get go,
Right, right.
and then because like later when I came back through and they were just playing, he was basically kicking people around when because he's very like certain characters he's very he can play well as like Sheik
Mm-hmm.
and who else did he use that I can remember and Marth.
Mm-hmm.
So he he will surprise he will be very surprising with it because like with Sheik and Zelda he can easily use them both together
Mm-hmm.
whether it's one form or the other.
Right, right.
So and that caught like a whole lot of the guys there that was playing by surprise.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
and speaking of Smash Brothers, my best friend texted me earlier today that I'm gonna get a double dose of a beating in the game this week because of the whole being snowed in situation.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um,
Can't wait.
yeah, have fun with that. I have to say though, like, yeah, I mean, in terms of Smash, like, uh, they're adding some characters right now that are like interesting, but at the same time, are the usual. Like right now, my two favorite right now is Little Mac and Mega Man. Like when I saw that Little Mac trailer the other day, I was like, oh my god, this is this is a character that's like most resembles a fighting character in this game. Um, but yeah, that's cool though. I mean, I will pray for your ass to be not pounded so hard, but
Don't say it that way.
but getting back to the convention, let's see, how how big was the tournament by the way, or did you manage to caught like the tail end of it?
Um, I would say there were at least well over 100 people there.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, they had a big push for advertising
Mm.
for getting the word out that the convention was going to happen because a popular radio station in this area was announcing it,
Oh, I see. Wow.
and, and I was like, wow, they were able to actually pull that off. And I think that one of the radio DJs was there too
Mm.
because he had his own they had their own section for representing their station, but every time I walked by, I didn't quite catch them.
Right, right.
So I'm like, well, dog, where's he at?
Right. That's pretty cool. Yeah, anytime it's funny. Anytime you get any publicity for a convention, whether it be radio, internet, TV, or whatever, social media, it's always a good thing. Always supporting the scene, and it's always good to hear. Um, oof. Was there just out of curiosity? when it came to food, did the convention like provided any food you can buy from there, or did you have to kind of walk away outside the convention to find some food?
They did. They had food vendors.
Mm-hmm.
They were down the hall from the Magic the Gathering um panel. I don't want to say panel, where they were playing their tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time when me and Lee went over there, it they were basically closing up shop.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to so we let's see we were able where it was located. It was down the street from the main highway, which on the other side of it had restaurants like Chick-fil-A, Arby's, and then there was a Targets nearby and stuff like that. So, okay, we didn't have to go far. We basically went like two to three blocks over
Mm.
in
Okay.
retrospect.
I see. So it wasn't too much of a walk, or drive, or however you want to get there. Than in some cases with some cons, which is a good thing. I think
Mm,
I think location for a convention is very, very critical, especially for food that vendors are around. But that's good to hear. Just out of curiosity, what food place did you go to?
what food places?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We went to Chick-fil-A
Mm-hmm.
because it was right across, but basically because as soon as we passed the light going over into that section on the other side of the main highway, it is right there to the right. Why not turn? It's the closest. Why not go?
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Um. One. La, la, la. I'm tongue tied already. It's only the first convention. Um. Now, this was only a 1 day convention, correct?
Hmm.
Okay. Um, from looking around as far as like the amount of people that came, like how many people do you think um came for the convention for that day?
For that day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I w- I doubt it got above. I doubt it came close to 200, but I know I saw a great deal of people there being there. So I want to say it's at least 100 people that I've saw
Hmm.
because I know it was more than because I know I've seen more than 50. And then like later on when I had attend one when I went to one panel for was it the anime title trivia panel? Yeah, it was for the anime title trivia panel. After we had done that and went back, I saw another group of people there, many of whose faces were more so new. So I'm like, okay, this is there's a lot more people here than I expected to be because this is way more than 50 and 60 now.
Okay, that's awesome. Uh, how many years has this been common going on for?
For MonitaCon, this was their first convention.
That's pretty good. That up to 200 people for the first convention, actually really good. Um, that's cool. That's good to hear. You know, what's funny is like the argument is that that there's too many anime conventions, and it's only because it's California over here. There are, but like the, having a convention, more on the East Coast or more in just anywhere else outside of California, I think is good. Um, and
Yeah.
200 is really good. But what else was there? Um, was there any panels that you attended?
Yes, there was the first panel was Q&A with voice acting.
Hmm.
Um, let me see if I can remember their names. One there, one was Sean. The other one was crap, forgot their names. I know one of them, one's name is Sean. The other one, I want to say his name is Scott, but I doubt that's it.
Right, right.
But the reason why they stood out was because they were voice actors for for anime that I particular for an anime series I particularly like called You're Under Arrest,
Mm,
and one of them did voices for the captain of that series or the police captain in that series, I believe.
oh, okay.
And the other guy, he did various characters like in supporting roles, or like, you know, they have an episode and oh, they need a random person here, a random person to speak here.
Right,
That was
right.
him.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. One of the like the background characters. Okay.
Yeah, apparently he wanted to do not one of the main characters or the main heroine's potential boyfriend,
Right, right.
but he lost that role out to someone else.
I
And I'm
see.
sitting here thinking, if you got to play him, I would have had you talk like him right then and now.
Yes, yes. And it'd be
I mean, it was messed up how in that series they have this thing where they want him to be all heroic and masculine and be a man, but yet when he does it, a couple of episodes later, it's they're making him into a clown again, and I'm like, no, you can't do that. You can't have him go out in a typhoon, chase after punk, some punk who's harassing his coworkers, come up on his motorcycle, the kick the driver window, and say, "I'm the one you want. Come get me." No, you can't have a dude like that be the clown the next two episodes later. No, it does not work.
Wow, I can hear the passion just coming through this end. um, wow, but that's cool. Um,
Had me talk about the last filler for Bleach.
oh God. Here, just real quickly, with the whole Bleach thing, it's like at least their fillers aren't as bad as like Naruto's. Like at least it's like decent or funny, but at the same time,
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, yeah, I can agree with that from what I can remember in watching Naruto. I mean, I have to get back on Shippuden
Mhm.
because there was a I'm on episode 83,
Mhm.
and it's been a long time since I watched it. Why? Because one of my favorite characters got killed off some crack, and I think some of you may know who I'm talking about because he's the son of the third Hokage. And I'm sitting here like, no, you can't just kill. How are you gonna kill an awesome character like that? How?
um, uh, ask
I
the
mean, at least,
author.
uh, but like with Bleach, yeah, I like some of their filler arcs a lot better. To me, the Zanpakuto one was the best one,
Mhm.
but the last one near the end of the series, where you're dealing with Kage Rosa and his time manipulation thing, I'm like, okay, I understand the premise, I get the scheme, I get. It's just that the execution is bothering me.
Mm.
And then to me, it was like they're making the same mistakes they were doing in the beginning when Ichigo's group went in.
Right, right.
I'm like, what Captain Kurasuchi did to this guy when he decided to pop out his little mod soul thing and jump it into another person's body should have ended him.
Mm.
Now, if he had some backup plan in case something was to happen to him, fine. But it's like he just plot convenience. Saved
Gotcha.
himself.
Gotcha. Huh.
And then no, that little girl, Nozomi, she was trying so hard to after she got her Shikai back. I understand you want the help, but here's the problem. You just realize what your powers are. Stop jumping in the way.
Yeah.
And when the old man tells you to sit down and move to the side, do it.
You must.
Especially when his power is reduce all of creation to ash when translated to English. I think I should move when he shows up.
Yes. Respect your elders in every possible way. But
Let's get back on this.
yeah. But getting back to the con at hand.
Hmm.
Was there man, what was I gonna say? Was there a cosplay contest? Uh,
Yes.
how did you manage to stick around for that, or how?
I was able to see. I was able to see the beginning of it. The one for the section for the kids, because I believe the Wolverine kid cosplayer for the children. I believe he either came in first or second.
Oh, nice.
But there was, but I didn't get to see all the way to the end because I had went to the Asian pop culture panel,
Oh, okay. Cool.
and basically they were. By the time I got there, they were doing a fashion show modeling sort of thing.
Ah, I see. Gotcha, gotcha. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. I do enjoy every time a anime convention has a cosplay contest for the us older people, but then they have it also for the younger in terms of like the prizes given out. Like this won the junior award and whatnot, and this one's for the
Hmm.
senior, which is cool. I just in general just like kids cosplaying as far as just kind of in the fandom, so that's pretty cool. Um, what else was there? Um, let's see. Was there was there any moment that stood out to you when you were there?
That set out.
Yeah, that stood out to you when you
I
were
mean,
there.
stood out.
Yeah.
Um, how helpful any of the staff were,
Hmm.
and explaining to me certain things because this was my first time doing anything like this when taking doing the photography, taking pictures, and as a coverage of newsworthy.
Right. Right.
And I went ahead and I had to think beforehand, like, okay, let me get some ground. Let me see if there's any ground rules that need to be established
Mhm.
and etc.
Right. Right.
And one of them, Mickey,
Mhm.
she's one of the she's a cosplayer that was a part of a group called the D20 Girls,
Right.
and she was helpful in with some of the getting some of the for giving me information dealing with the panels and getting pictures from people and stuff.
Mhm.
And she also was the one that had to host the the anime trivia panel because the person that was supposed to do it just couldn't make it, so she did it on the spot,
Right.
which
Right.
was impressive because she didn't. That's something that wasn't in her. That wasn't really in her entitled responsibility, but for the sake of the fans and the convention, she stepped up and filled in the role.
Mm. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's that is the elements of a true leader, as it were. Um, but that's cool. It is it's always good, to ask first when it comes to convention coverage when it comes to that sort of thing because sometimes when let's see, I mean, oftentimes conventions, they're cool if it. I mean, they have like press, signups and like have, in their bylines like you can only take certain pictures of this, and for cosplayers, you have to ask them before taking a picture and see if they're fine with it, which is usually the case. And
Hmm.
oftentimes like conventions are pretty cool with it. Um, I haven't ran into a convention where they're like, no, no, no press can take pictures here. We don't want your publicity. Um,
Then what are you guys doing behind the closed doors? Then if you don't want us taking pictures.
right, right. Some hidden, something hidden that they don't want us to see. Um, but like, yeah, like it's no, in general, like they're pretty cool with it. Um, was there any particular cosplay that stood out to you when you were there?
Let's see. There was a couple. The first one that really stood out. was okay. For those was the guy that played it was a guy that was cosplaying as Char from the older Gundam series. I
Mm,
want to say 0083
mm.
because yeah, it was one of the older ones, and because he's the character that if you're familiar with Gundam Wing, he's the character that Zex Marquis is modeled after.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Except
Yeah, 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 yeah.
he has the fancy red suit and the helmet, but his helmet has more of a hood, more of an ornament attachment to it,
Right, right. Oh, okay. Uh,
while Zex's is more smooth and laid, was more smoother.
Yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about. 'Cause man, you know what's funny is like when Gundam Wing first aired and I watched it, like it was cool as shit, but complicated as hell at the same time. It's like it's like when I finished watching this series, it's like okay, so I think I understand what pacifism is now. Oh man. And for people listening, man, if you guys have seen Gundam Wing, you go check it out. But if not, we're just dating ourselves right now. We were making ourselves so old. But
It's okay.
yeah, but that's cool though. It's very
Just
awesome.
know that there's classics laying around.
Oh yes, definitely, definitely. Always check out the classics. Um, but
But
was there like your overall thoughts on Americon?
um, it was for well, being that it's the second convention that I went to
Hmm.
overall, because the very first one I went to was in I want to say MACT or Middle Atlantic Tennessee Convention or no Middle ah MATC.
Uh,
What is that? What is that acronym for? I just know it was a convention in Tennessee during April,
mm,
and that was the first one I went to. But so it was I was enjoying myself. It was interesting seeing it from a different a convention that's starting at from a different perspective
hmm.
because it's like it's a new feeling and like okay, I'm not sure what I'm in for. I know I'm probably gonna meet people here that's probably gonna share some of my interests,
Right, right.
and in a lot of ways I did, especially when we was naming anime titles for the trivia game
Hmm.
and trying not to get out or screw up.
Right, right.
And overall, I had fun, and to me, I believe that was the most important aspect of the trip over to MonitaCon was I'm gonna have fun. Are we gonna enjoy ourselves? Is this gonna be in the spirit of the fandom?
Right,
And
right.
to me, it seemed that way.
That's cool. That's great to hear. Especially for his first time. Yeah, it's definitely glad to hear you say that. Um, Now the next convention you went to, which is um Anywave, um,
Hmm.
which is bigger, I can imagine.
Yeah,
Um, how did that go?
it went pretty well. It was very fun. It was fun. It was enjoyable too. And being that it was a longer established convention and at a bigger venue, because unlike MonitaCon, which was at a local recreation center,
Hmm.
this Anaway was at the Wilmington Convention Center.
Ah, I see.
So, like MonitaCon, it was on a location on the coast too.
Hmm.
But as far as the weather goes, it was cold because this was in December now, and it actually gets colder. Well, when it feels like it does get colder,
Hmm.
and and by it being getting colder and stuff, you kind of like all right, and then it's colder outside and then it's warmer inside, and being that there's a bunch of people inside, it's gonna get hot. So it's like, okay, do I want to keep my jacket or do I want to get rid of it?
Yeah, oh man, I ran into that problem so many times, especially over here. Like, okay, cause I have a jacket and I have a light sweater. If I
Hmm.
bring the light sweater, like I'm gonna be cold as hell. I'm gonna freeze my ass off in the morning, but I'll be okay later on. But if I bring my jacket, like I'm okay in the morning, but I get hot later on in the day.
Hmm.
It's that struggle, man. I know the feeling.
Yeah. And so it got to a point where I'm like, okay, the heavy jacket got to go back into the car.
Mhm. Mhm.
I got on a long sleeve shirt, so I don't have to go too far and come back.
Mhm.
But then when we was leaving, it was cold, so I made sure me and my friend PJ got back to the car as quick as possible.
Mm. I see.
Cause I need a hoodie, that on it. I need a new hoodie. That's all I got to say.
I hear ya. I hear ya.
Solved all that problem.
Mhm. Was there when you were there, like I'm sure there wasn't any problem finding the convention. As long as you find it, as long as you see a cosplayer in the general facility.
Well, the problem this time was that there was construction in the way.
Oh, oh,
So we had to figure out a way how to get around that to get to the convention center.
I see. Hmm.
Because the street that we was going to turn on, it was blocked off or they had stuff there. And we was like, okay, we can't turn that way. Maybe we can go around the block. And we had to do that.
I see. Hmm. Okay. Um, when you first arrived at the convention, was there already a mass amount of people there, or was it kind of like trickling in as the day went on?
Oh, there was a large group of people there as soon as we got in. I mean, arrived or got into the front of the building
Mm-hmm.
because it was all because there was already a number of people there, but then later on, after the first panel we went to,
Right, right.
or after we had walked around a bit, there was more people coming,
Mm.
and I was like, okay.
the uh the day has begun. The massive
Hmm.
horde of cosplayers, nerds, geeks, and whatever are coming to the convention. Oh man. This was how many days was this convention? Was it
Like
a 3 day or was it one day?
like MonitaCon, it was a 1 day convention, but
Oh.
this was on a Sunday.
Oh wow, that's interesting. Huh. Okay. Um, just out of curiosity, what was around the convention center as far as like I'm not talking about just food places or just curious for us like what was nearby the convention center.
Um, there was an information, I believe, I believe the building on the other side of the street from it was an information center, but I'm not quite sure. There was a hotel and another lodging place further over from it.
Mm-hmm.
Behind it was being that it's on the coast, there was a waterway there and
Mm.
a pier for a docking area for boats and stuff.
Right, right.
And then you go further over, you'll see another parking garage,
Hmm.
and further over into what would be considered downtown
Right, right. Hmm. Okay.
in construction.
Okay. Interesting. I was just curious for us like what else was nearby the convention center. Um. Now, the as far as like how big it was, did was it a bit harder for you to get your badge or just from the looks of like how many people were there, like if you went there as an attendee, like would it be waiting in line for a good while, or is it just merely like there were hardly any lines and you could pick up your badge easily?
Let's see. Well, I had discussed it with the director for ManiaCon. I mean, not well, actually, yeah, yeah, for both of them, for ManiaCon and in the Wave, had a conversation with both directors about getting the press badge,
Mhm.
and they said yeah, but I had to let them know my actual name and stuff
Mhm.
and information,
Mhm.
and showed them the website for Mission Start,
Mhm.
so they'll know who I am from the staff logs, but
Mhm.
staff contact section.
Right. Right.
And so when I got there, I made sure I found somebody that was working there for ManilaCon to get my press badge for them, and so it was not that hard. For Anawave, I came in. The line wasn't as long when we went in, so it was smooth. And all I did was ask the question about the press badges and stuff, and they just looked for my name.
Oh, okay. But you went when you were there anyway. Did you manage to kind of see or briefly kind of skim the registration line that everybody else was in?
Um, let's see. There wasn't really a separation of who was red of who. Well, I don't remember.
I see.
There was at least two lines
Mhm.
because you had people on the front office or the front desk working with everybody that was there.
Right. Right.
So so you was able to get. So you was at the point in time I was there. The wait wasn't that long,
Right.
like 3 minutes. But then later on, there was more of a wait because more people started showing up.
Right. Right. Oh, okay. So it depended on the day as far as like how long the line would be as far as like getting your badge if you were an attendee. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. It makes sense too if you think about it. Uh,
Because they did a pre-registration too.
right. Right.
So if you did that, it was best that you let them know.
Oh man, I can't agree with you any harder than I am right now. um, so when when you get into the convention center, obviously it's a lot more space and a lot more bigger than WinnieCon. But what were
Hmm.
the first things you had planned to go check out, or what was the first thing you did when you were there?
Let's see. The first thing I did was we went and saw voice act. We went to another voice acting panel. Except this one, they'll let you be the voice actor,
Oh, cool.
and one of the scenes that they had people do a voiceover for was from, I want to say it's the game The Last of Us.
Oh, no way. Oh, it's so
What
cool.
I'm trying to I'm it is the one with the dad and the daughter, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I'm thinking of the right one. And it's that scene where they're riding in the car and the girl finds a porno mag.
Oh, oh, the hilarity that might have ensued in that panel.
Oh, people were having fun. So yeah, I took some shots of that, and pe- hearing people try their hand at trying to do what they saw the characters do and say was fun and hilarious.
Right, right.
I kind of wish that I was able to stay a little longer to see if they actually did the scene. Excuse me, the scene from DBZ where when Nappa asked Vegeta what was Goku's power level, and he said it was over 9,000. I, I was like, you know what? I wouldn't mind doing this scene with with my friend if he would play Vegeta for this role because he would actually mimic him or actually quote him
Right, right, right.
close enough to the voice.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't know if he can still do it now, but it would have been hilarious.
Oh man, man. Only thing I can think of at the moment is like whenever those like those panels happen, like it's like it becomes like whose line is it anyway in some sort of fashion, and it's just become just everybody having fun and just hilarity ensues with that entire panel. Oh man, I wish I was there to see that. um, that's cool. What was the other things you managed to go check out when you were there?
Um, I actually got to hear a panel ran a special guest panel for the voice actress Elizabeth McGlillan.
Yeah, she's really cool.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, if you've seen Ghost in the Shell in English, she's the voice actress for the Major,
Mm-hmm. She,
Major Kusanagi,
mm,
and a few other anime characters that you may be familiar with, like Julia from Cowboy Bebop,
yep. Uh,
um, Hot Ice Hilda from Outlaw Star, and she played a few roles in the Dot Hat series.
nice. Yeah, she's a really cool person. I went to one of her panels actually when she came over here for a convention. She's really cool.
Yes, she is.
Yes, yes. Um, what else?
She even talked as one of the girls that was trying her hand at being Hinata from Naruto. She did she did the girl's voice while she was trying to play as trying to be the character from the show.
Right, right.
I heard her do that. I said she is too good.
Yes, she is really good at what she does. Um, and that's pretty cool. Was um, was there any cosplays that stood out to you when you were there?
Let's see. There were several. We had the Red and Green Ranger running around. Um, oh, Attack on Titan was storming the place. Um, Blue Link, Green Link, and Princess Amidala was having a stroll with each other. They would just walk around, and I'm like, this is a weird combination. But y'all look good at what y'all do, so I'm not gonna complain.
Mhm.
Black Butler was common.
Mhm.
Uh, let's see, Snake from Meta Gear. He volunteered for the Hitalia panel to be their hired mercenary.
Nice.
Um, Let me see. Full Metal Ed from Full Metal Alchemist. He was running around. Well, she, but
Right,
yeah.
right. Oh, that's cool. It's anime convention. That sort of thing happens all the time.
So yeah, there was a lot of cool cosplays that I saw.
Okay, that's cool. I think for me, when it comes to cosplay and just like what comes out every anime convention, it's just like I admire the people who put a lot of time and effort into their costumes, especially those who make very complicated and awesome
Mm,
cosplays. I think if there's any fandom that I just really respect as far as like the people cosplaying is the League of Legends cosplayers, because my God, those costumes are so difficult to make. Just because it's complicated, but at the same time, like the armor is so good. Like I
hmm
haven't really ran into a League cosplayer that was like meh. all of them,
Oh wow,
all of them,
that I would like to see that.
all of them I've seen so far have been really good. And examples would probably be in our gallery. So if you're listening to us, please go check out our Anime LA gallery. There's a ton of those pictures in there. um, but yeah, that's really cool. Was there uh now coming back to the food thing?
hmm
Was it for this con? Was it a similar like not too hard to find a place nearby type of deal like Monita Con, or was it like you had to kind of walk a while to find a place to eat?
Um, you you didn't have trouble finding it because next to the vendors hall it was there, but the thing was there was a long line
I see.
and it was kind of crowded. over next to where the food vendor was happening
Right.
was doing their thing. So me and my friend we decided, well, we can go walk. That's and we had to walk up a hill, and then walk down a block over the subways.
My question was it worth the walk in the cold for some Subway food?
Well, I wouldn't say it was too. It wasn't too bad. We got to see more cosplayers,
Oh, okay.
so it wasn't too
You hear that, Subway? We like your food. Sponsor us.
bad.
um, okay, but that's cool. I was gonna say, oh man, I am just painting my friend's face screen right now. Yeah, I'm
Why are
just
you painting his face?
because I have to do this for an assignment. For those who was wondering why I just said that, um, I'm working on a project as we speak right now, and I have to. I'm making my friend's photo into the Hulk, so I'm making him green. But getting back to the task at hand as I do this, um, as far as other events or panels you might have attended, what else did you manage to check out when you were there?
Let's see. We managed to. Let's see. There was a panel on. Okay, it was called Omake Ikuze. They're actually a Facebook group.
Right.
Well, I won't say group, but yeah, they're on Facebook. And what their panel was about was anime titles that didn't really that could have been big but didn't get the push to be big over here.
Mhm.
And they went through a list on on a bunch of titles that could have gotten a great big following, like Pokemon, Naruto, Bleach, Digimon,
Mhm.
and they named some titles that I'm a fan of too, or that I enjoyed watching,
Right. Right.
like Pat Labor.
Ah, yeah. I saw that. Uh, Speaking of which, just not to derail again, but you seen the Pat Labor live action series that's gonna happen?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my God.
I heard about it, and then I saw an article about it. I saw a news headline about a live action. I want to say it might be the series or the movie.
Right. Right. Oh man, the trailer is up on my Facebook. I'll give you the link later on.
Oh, okay.
But oh my god, it looks so good. It's so awesome. It's gonna be a TV series, which is cool because like oh awesome. So it's gonna happen every week. Uh, as far as when it's starting, I'm not quite sure, but oh man, actually it looks very awesome.
Sweet. Yeah,
Uh,
usually series like that, I prefer it being a TV series more so than them trying to put it in a movie.
right, right. Just because
Like,
it makes more sense. Yeah,
yeah, and they have the time scale that you can work with.
right, right. Yeah. Um. Oh wow, this is not looking good. Um. But getting back to Anywave, was when you were walking around, what was some of the things you noticed just walking around the convention center?
Let's see. What? Let's see. Um, a lot of staff was helpful. Especially the daggone, I forgot her name. This was she was another D20 girl. She was one that I met, and I think she was the one that explained who they were to me back in MonitaCon because she was working at this one at Anawave too,
Right.
and she was going to do a cosplay involving, I want to say, um, a was it a punk version of Sailor Moon
Oh, steampunk?
of one of hmm
Steampunk?
yeah, a steampunk version of Sailor Moon of a Sailor Moon character. I believe she was doing that, but when I looked at her, I was like, because I think she was supposed to be the villainess from the series,
Right,
and I
right.
said, "You look like Maleficent," and she's like, "That's even better because she's a badass."
That's
And she
awesome.
did the cape thing, and I'm like,
That's
that was
awesome.
too great for me
I
when she did.
that's cool. Was there? I can imagine just like happening right in front of you, and it's like, oh yeah. Yeah, I mean those moments are just classic, man. At conventions, yeah, they're freaking awesome. Um, was there anything else that happened that was just like on the same level, or was like weird stuff just happened in front of you and just kind of left you scratching your head? It's like, did this happen?
We had Wreck-It Ralph running around. He took I want to say he took second place or was in the top five at the cosplay contest. I
Right.
didn't expect him.
Right, right.
'Cause, then let's see, they had. I want to say it was a Scarecrow cosplayer from. I want from the dark from the Batman Begins, but I'm not quite sure. He could have been a guy. No, it was him because he had. Because I don't think the Borderlands guys have these claw extensions on their hands.
No, no, yeah, it's not them. Yeah, it sounds like Scarecrow.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure. Um, the lady that was hosting the cosplay contest, Miss Pearson, yeah, and she was the director at MonitaCon.
Hmm.
She had Snake, I guess, cover him with his rifle while he was walking up to the podium and back to his seat. I'm
Nice.
like, doggone.
That's awesome. Um, that's cool. Um, was there uh did you manage to check out the masquerade when you were there?
The masquerade. Masquerade. Oh, like when they had a rave going on?
No, it's another term for the cosplay contest.
Oh, yeah. I was just, yeah, I just mentioned part of it.
Oh, right, my bad.
Yeah, we caught the ending. This was the part where my batteries from my camera was starting to die, and I had to switch to my iPhone.
Ah, I see. Gotcha.
And uh, let's see, we had the Link cosplayers. We had the Red Ranger. The Red Ranger actually had the shield with him and and the dragon dagger.
That's awesome.
And I was like, "With all Green Ranger, he done took your stuff."
That's
Uh,
cool.
then let's see, everybody wanted Ed to drink their milk, his milk or her milk. I'm
Right,
sorry.
right.
And Snake gave his background.
Mm.
Then let's see, who else? Let me see this.
But from the sounds of things, it sounds like you had a blast when you were there.
Yeah, I had fun because let's see, because I'm trying to put together everything I saw
Hmm.
because it's been a while.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Um.
Oh yeah, Warshak.
Yes.
Warshak. This guy,
Yes.
he was too funny.
Awesome. Did he have the mask where if you just breathe into it, like it would change shapes and stuff?
Um, I'm trying to remember. I'm not sure because I want to say he did
Hmm.
because one of the judges asked him, was he going around scaring the hell out of people? He was like, "Nah, they're okay." And people in the back going, what?"
It's just like, nah, he's lying. It's a different story. Yeah. Scared the crap out of me earlier. He was in the bathroom. I was, doing business, and he just popped out underneath the one of the stalls. That's cool though. um, Now when it came to Avengers, compared to Minicon, like like how many vendors were there, and like how big was the size of the room for the dealers?
They had their own. They had their own large room and section to themselves.
Oh wow.
And you kind of walk. I mean, you kind of walk in a horseshoe
Mhm.
sort of shape.
Mm.
But yeah, they had their own, they were able to have space for themselves and for their locations. Even though at one point, either at some points during the day, it got crowded. But at the same time, you can see where everybody is, or see where all the vendors are at.
Right. Right.
So you can so you can if you if you're not too short, you can see you can see where everybody is at,
Mhm.
and then so you can move around, or you can move to the side and let people buy. When it started to fit pack in,
Mhm.
now I'm thinking about that whole conga line that I think a guy that was cosplaying as Germany had started. He came through there with all of them.
Wow.
But yeah, they you were able to see and get a good bearing of, okay, which vendors have things that might interest myself,
Mhm.
or in case I brought a kid with me, you can get a good layout of the room.
I see. Okay. So like you could just stand back and you could just see like what's there in front of you, and like you can just choose like, okay, so if I want to get this, I can go over there. If I want to get, this, I can go over that direction. Okay.
The only thing you'll probably have to worry about is the people that are, or the vendors that are whose area is their backs are towards you, and which means in order to see what they're doing, you would have to walk up the aisle, then turn to go look at the stuff that they have on their tables, because their tables are facing towards the wall like you would be if you walked into the room.
I see. Hmm.
And one of them was, there were guys where they were showing a guy the work from a guy from Rooster Teeth,
Oh, nice.
where
Yes, the Red vs. Blue guys. Yeah.
they had the Master Chief from Halo 2 fighting Salmus.
Oh, yes, that was Monty Ohm's work. Yeah, he that was one of his early animations he did back in the heydays. Um, and it was really cool. It was really awesome. It was some cool shit. Now he's working on, and he's working on was it his new series Ruby. So, but yeah, that's pretty cool. That's
I,
awesome.
I want to say it was. Wait a second. I'm trying to think. I want to say it was Fantastic Studios that had the display up,
Hmm.
or
Interesting. Um.
or Iron Clown. One of those.
Right.
I have to actually look for their card again.
Of
So if you
course.
guys happen to be listening, I apologize for not getting through all the names.
It's yes, yes. If you are listening by any chance, um, we do apologize. And if you are listening, please share and subscribe to our podcast. um, but that's cool. Now it's funny. I forgot to ask, but did you manage to check out the artist alley, or like as far as the people who were there, like were they more gravitated toward the artist alley or toward the vendors hall?
Well, the artists and the vendors were together basically.
Ah, I see.
So you take a few steps, there's a vendor. You take another, and right next to him, the artist person, or in some cases, they were one and the same.
Right, right. I see.
Cause
Huh.
like there was a mother that was doing her daughter's daughter's booth,
All right.
because she had to do something else, and I thought that was kind of cool and nice of her to help her daughter out like that.
Right, right.
And then like further down, you had guys where they were purely selling items and fan related material, like Trigun manga, um, Gundam Wing merchandise. Because I almost freaked out when I saw Toggy sitting there.
Nice.
I'm like, if I could, I would buy it right now.
Right, right. That's cool.
Then, then you go further over, you see some Yu Yu Hakusho related material, and I was like, well, dang, you guys are doing well.
It's always a good sign when, like, especially recently with me, actually. Whenever I go to artist alley now, it's just like I just take out my wallet, just put it on the table. It's like just take my money now. Like I'm not gonna even struggle at this point. um, but yeah, I man, you come to anime convention with a good amount of money, you come out broke. It's just how it works.
I
Uh,
said, that's the thing. Do I want? I need the money for other things too, but do I need to risk it and get this right here? Do I need to risk it and get this plushie of a Dalek or something?
I know the struggle, man. I know the struggle too well. um, did you manage to check out the gaming room when you were there?
Yes, the gaming room. They were. Let's see. There was a Pokemon. I want to say there was a Pokemon tournament.
Right.
Then I believe it was involved in the DS.
Hmm.
And then you had the classic Smash Brothers
Ah,
for 64.
of course, of course.
Then let's see. There was another tournament, and I believe it was another game tournament that was involving a PC game.
Hmm.
And I want to say, I can't remember its name. Eh,
Was it a fighter? Was it a shooter?
no, it looked more like an RPG
Huh.
or MO or MMO
Huh.
type sort of thing.
Interesting. Did it have? I think I'm gonna have a guess. Okay, so was it the characters are using on screen like were they flying around in like in some in space or like were they flying around in this like huge arena?
Um, they were mostly walking, but the thing is, they were busy setting it up on the big screen to where people can see what was going on,
Right, right.
and it was trying to get everything working it right so it would come clear.
Okay. Um. Hmm. Any. Any. Give me a clue. Give me a bone here. Like what did you see on screen? What was on screen when you saw it?
Um, the screen was bluish purple.
I mean, what was going on screen? Like, what was the game that they were playing that, or can you describe to me what the action of what was going on?
They hadn't quite started moving it.
Uh huh.
Um, I want to say it starts with an L,
Okay.
but I'm trying to think. It starts with an L. The screen, the level they were on was kind of bluish and a little dark,
Mhm.
and it was in an RPG format.
Hmm. I have no clue.
Yeah,
I
I,
was
I
like,
should
maybe.
have.
I was like,
And
maybe.
I don't have it written down on my notes.
Right, right. I mean, I'm just like just trying to take a wild guess at it, but okay. Nah, it's cool if you don't remember. But okay. But aside from that though, was like, how was the game room? Like, was it big, small, just the right size?
I would say it was just the right size. I mean, you can, there's a good amount of space for people to come in,
Mhm.
and because they had to get the overhead and the projector ready, and the tables for the people that were participating in, like for the Pokemon
Right, right.
or for Smash Brothers
Hmm.
or for the game that we can't that I can't remember the name of for the save myself. But you know what? That's fine. You had it was roomy.
Okay, that's cool. Your overall thoughts on Anywave?
Um, I can tell that people that run it are very dedicated, considering how it originally started
Hmm.
and how long it's been there. Because it started in 2007 as a film festival,
Right, right,
and then over time it slowly became a Japanese um, cultural or film appreciation festival, and then maybe its name became Anime.
Hmm. I see. Okay.
It wasn't until around 2010 that it officially became Anime, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, right. Hmm.
So it's been down there for a while, and it wasn't until this past year that I actually found anything, heard anything about it.
Right.
And I was like, well, daggone. Well, it's 2 hours away. So why not take a trip?
Right, right. That's cool. That's awesome. Um, cool. That's good to hear. And do you plan to go next year?
Um, well, this coming year, if they're hosting it, if they're holding another one, yes, I would like to go.
Cool. Awesome. Well, Chris, thank you for joining me for this kind of what would you call it? Like a podcast that was a podcast, and then it had to be retaken 3 times in a row for it to happen.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, something like that. But thank you, Chris, for joining me for this podcast.
You're very welcome.
Where can they find you on the internet?
Let's see. I I have my bio profile on the Mission Start podcast website under staff contacts. I also have a blog blog on blog posts where called Ru Ryuzaki Presents.
Hmm.
Um, for those of you that probably didn't catch on to the name, it's a reference to L and B from Death Note, the BB murder cases,
Hmm.
because that's actually when L used the name Ryuzaki, it's a reference to B, a protege that was supposed to one of his successors, but he kind of went insane.
Right, right. Gotcha.
But the thing was, when you read the light novel, it's actually he's actually an entertaining character.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
But and his plan, you look at it, you're like, well, it is smart, but it's crazy.
Right, right. I mean, here's the real question, and it's funny that you mention it. Think of Batman.
Hmm.
Now, to people who we read and watch on TV, like he is a hero. But um, what what if you think about it, a man dressed up in a Batman outfit or in an
A
outfit
bat
in a
suit.
bat suit, yes, going around at night and trying to do justice, but at the same time, it makes you wonder, like, is he really sane, or
Hmm.
what defines sanity in a sense, you know?
What defines whether or not he's a crazy man that needs medication?
Exactly. Exactly.
Is he actually out there doing the right thing because he believes in it, or is he just some dude that snapped
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true.
or happened to take bath salts and just went off the deep end?
Yeah.
Well, never mind, not bath salts, because apparently that makes some people think that electricity is chasing them.
Right, right. Um, but getting back to closing this podcast, you can follow me personally on Twitter at Defective Naruto. You can follow the work that me and Chris do on the site at missionstarpodcast.com. Be sure to check out our newly content on there. And other than the fact that we're still working on the iTunes situation with the Conover, but you can check out all of our Conover episodes on Stitcher right now. It's been updated. It's check it out, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mom, grandma, tell your dog. Um, and
Get the word out there.
yes, and with that,
Later, folks.